So everybody knows that when you start a video and say that, hey, this may be a little longer than my normal videos, that most people just shut it off right there. But, please don't. I've just got a couple of points that I would like to make. People ask me all the time, man, what are you doing on Facebook, social media, this, that, and the other? I mean, what's the point? What are you trying to accomplish? Well, I didn't do it for many, many years, and it's for several reasons I didn't do it. But then I became a mentor and a coach for life coaching for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs. I started a group, and it's just that my coaches and mentors said that you need to get on social media if you want to promote yourself or build a brand or sell anything. So I did, and I enjoy listening to motivational speakers, and that's where I started. I started with things like Tony Robinson, Jim Rohn, and this other guy, Eric Thomas, I think. And they speak on things like, if you act like a shark, you will survive. Because when a shark stops swimming, the shark will die. And Tony Robbins, if you want to take an island, then you burn the boats. So you are so committed. You go to that island, you burn those boats. That way nobody has a way to get back, and you have no other option than to succeed in taking that island. Kind of enjoyed that stuff. I got a ton of likes. I got a ton of comments, a lot of shares. It seems like people need to hear that kind of stuff. But then I got some constructive feedback from a guy named Earl Shockley that said, hey man, I don't really like motivational speakers because they don't do anything for you. They get you motivated for about 10 minutes and then you're done, and then what? So I started talking about business stuff. That was dry, very dry, boring, no likes, maybe it was educational, I don't know. And I've gone through several different ways. I've done some TED Talks on here. I've practiced huge convention talks while I'm on this. I use it for practice. But it's morphed into something that I didn't expect. And I'll tell you why. Give you a little backstory. I took an early retirement from Walgreens almost 2 years ago now in September. And the main reason is because I was missing my kids growing up. I wasn't part of their life. I was jealous of my wife because they had a connection. They had a bond. When Daddy came home, it wasn't even a, hey, welcome home, Daddy. It was like, well, there's Dad. But I thought that's what the man was supposed to do, right? Be the breadwinner, go home, sit on the lazy boy, eat Cheetos, drink beer, and watch Netflix. That's what I was told we were supposed to do. And I tell you, as far as everybody else thought, I was a success. I had a pretty good job, even though it was extremely stressful. I was working 70 to 80 hours a week, sometimes more, going in at 3 a.m. just so I could get a good start on the day. And it was stressing me out so bad, it literally felt like I had 500 pounds on a bench press, and it was coming down and it got stuck, and I couldn't freaking do anything about it. There was no one to help me get it off of my chest, or so I thought. The pressure of the world was on my shoulders as far as I was concerned. I was the breadwinner, I was the dad, I was the motivator, I was the coach for my clients, I was the coach for people at work, I was the whatever you call it for the bosses at work. I was everything to everybody except for myself and except for my kids. One of my personal pivotal needs is legacy. And I've got great things, great plans, great ideas. And my wife taught me your real, true legacy is your children. So I said, all right, I'm gonna take an early retirement from Walgreens because I couldn't do both. Even when I was home, I was thinking about Walgreens, or I was worrying about Walgreens. I could not spend quality time and be present with my children. And I didn't realize how bad that was affecting everything, especially me. So I decided that I would continue doing these things. Sometimes I do goofy things. Sometimes I do exercise things. People are like, "But what are you actually doing? You do crazy stuff." You know, yeah. Sometimes you just rant and you ramble. Sometimes you talk about politics. Sometimes you talk about religion. So, what is your brand going to be? I'm like, well, what my brand is? My brand is to leave a legacy for my kids, and I'm doing it on here. My wife gave me a book when Delilah, our firstborn, which is 18 years old now, about to go to college, UTC, my alma mater. And the book was like a journal. I'll see if I can get a picture put on here. A journal for my daughter, so that when she grew up, she could read things, about me. And that thing is sitting there just collecting dust. 18 years later, collecting dust. I did nothing with it because I was too focused on my career. Every time I look at that book, I think, man, God, I really need to write something in there, but I got to plan my day for tomorrow. I've got to do this. I've got to work. I've got to excel. I mean, I did great. I took a Walgreens store that was ranked almost 9,000 out of 12,000 in the bad category, and I brought that all the way up to one of the top 100 stores in the entire company. Not necessarily in sales, but in all the 50 different metrics that they look at. I had another store that I ran that was always in the top 100 of the entire company, and that is an accomplishment. That is success to Walgreens, not to me. So I was achieving great things, but failing at the most important thing, which was my family. Failing miserably. They didn't give a rat's ass that I had the top 100 store in Walgreens, that I took it from 9,000 to the top 100 in less than a year. They didn't care, and I don't blame them. Why would they? Daddy's not spending time with us. He don't care about us. So I looked at the book again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I think I wrote one thing down in it one time years ago. I felt so bad, because here I am, the people that depend on me, the people that really love me the most, and I don't even take a freaking moment to write down a journal for my daughter. And then I had a son. No book came this time, because Michelle knew I wasn't going to write anything down, because the family was not the most important thing to me, or faith for that matter. When I hit that realization, man, I can't explain the feeling. It just made me, I don't know. There's no words. I didn't really want to cry, but I felt depressed. About what kind of father am I? What kind of father do I want to be? What do I intend to be in my life? And what would I do next to be the person that I intend to be? And it sure as hell wasn't going to work and working my ass off like I was and ignoring my children or my wife. That wasn't what I intended to be. So I did something different. So I don't know if any of you feel the same way. But when you feels so bad. Your heart just hurts because you think you're doing the right thing and ending up that you're not. Not being present with your children will affect you in many ways. Our society could be so much better if men were involved with their children in their rearing. And so, yes, at the age of 50, I left Walgreens. And guess what? By then, my kids are driving. They're 16, they're 17. They don't give a rat's turd about hanging out with daddy anymore. I never even taught my freaking daughter how to ride a bicycle now. God dang it, and that stupid shit. I didn't even teach her how to ride a bicycle. My God. I'm mad at myself. Now I do have a chance she's 7 years old. She's 8 years old now, Darcy. Now we're able to spend time together. She still enjoys hanging out with daddy. Right, and we're bonding. You know, my son has a wonderful relationship with Michelle. I don't. And I thought all I would have to do is just leave Walgreens, start spending time with him. But you know what? That didn't work. Why did it not work? I don't know. You can Google it. There's many reasons. In theory, it's like, Daddy, you didn't care about me the first 15 or 16 years of my life. Why would you care now? Why would you think that I'm ready for you to be a huge part of my life? And that's just selfish of me. I can't expect him to stop everything his entire life. Heck, he's got a life now. You know, he plays basketball, plays golf, you know, has I don't know how many girlfriends. My daughter Delilah, she's got friends. She's got things that she wants to succeed in. Yes, she don't know how to ride a bicycle. I hope I haven't missed the best lives. When you're on your deathbed, are you going to look around and all these people that you worked with are going to go, man, he was like the hardest worker in the world. He worked 80 hours a week. Wow. He made $150,000 billion a year. No, they're not going to even freaking be there. In fact, when I left Walgreens, guess how many of the people that cared for me, that were my friends, guess how many are still around? Ha! Maybe two. Maybe two. So I put my priorities in the wrong place. Completely wrong place. Because I thought they cared. I thought, hey, this is my family, my work family. Oh, man. They say they care about me, at least on the evaluation. It says that care is important. And I'm not down in Walgreens. That's the corporate world. And that was my false reality, thinking that they cared. But I was not paying attention to the people that could truly care. So when Dante and Delilah see this sometime in the future, this is my journal now. The book that I didn't write in, this is it. All the things that I've done. I'm putting on YouTube. I've got digital backups. I've got all this thing so that when they're 50, 60 years old, maybe they'll look back and learn something. Maybe I can teach them something through all this. Inspire them, motivate them. Tell them that, hey, whatever you want to do is okay. I just want you to be happy. You don't have to make $1 million a year. You don't have to be a success in other people's eyes. As long as you're a success in your own eyes and in God's eyes. That's all that matters. But have high expectations of yourself. Have high expectations of your friends. If your friends don't support you, get rid of them. If they do, hold on to them dearly. Hold on to them dearly, because they're few and far in between. So yeah. So what am I doing on Facebook? What am I doing on the other social media platforms? I'm leaving a vlog. I'm leaving a video journal. And I hope that it helps some of you along the way too. And of course I do coach, I do mentor. I charge for that. I don't talk about that much because that's not the point. The point is my children and the legacy that I want to leave. And I pray to God. And this includes my mother too. I ignored her back then. So I pray to God that it's not too late.